Hey guys, what's up? It's ItsCadyCat, and today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on how you can beat all 7 bosses currently in Minecraft Dungeons. These are just some of the things that have helped me in my playthrough, so if you're stuck on a level, hopefully this helps you out. Anyways, let's jump into the first boss fight. Starting in Pumpkin Pastures is our first boss, the Evoker. Now, this is a relatively easy boss fight as it's early in game and his attacks are fairly simple and easy to dodge. But for this fight, I recommend boosting your attack with multiple mushrooms and equipping a melee weapon with quick attack and high damage, like the sickles. This way you can wipe out the Evoker before he even has a chance to deplete your health. But if your health does get low during this fight, you can always run back to the starting area to get a breath before jumping in. Now, in my case, I do actually have double radiance on my sickles, but that is kind of a hard enchantment to come by. Now, the Evoker, pretty much all he does is summon in his alligator traps and his vexes. Those are pretty easy to dodge, but like I said, if you do need a breather, just run back up to that starting area. They'll follow you, but it's much easier taking them on minus the Evoker rather than all of them at once. You can pretty much just get extremely close to the Evoker and his attacks are really easy to dodge. Just go around them, heal up, and he'll be dead in no time. Easy. The next boss is a goopy purple cauldron in Soggy Swamp. And this boss is a lot more complex because the fire defending the cauldron makes it nearly impossible to land multiple melee hits. I personally use the exploding crossbow with the firework artifacts to have double explosions and make my damage as high as possible. So when you combine that with the purple slimes that attack, this boss is certainly much more tricky. So for this fight, I recommend a ranged offense. Now, I'm not saying my damage is the highest it could be, it's definitely not. There are some crazy people out there who have hundreds of thousands of damage per hit. That is definitely not me. But if you're like me and you're only level 83 or you're defeating this for the first time on default difficulty, this artifact, this crossbow will certainly be enough to take this cauldron down. Now I know this boss fight might be a little bit boring to watch, but hey, at least I'm consistent. I definitely beat this boss and I can consistently beat him every time. Please don't mind the fact that I died in the middle of this boss fight. I was being careless. You can actually use the terrain to your advantage, hide behind houses, hide behind pillars. I didn't do that for some reason, but you can. You can run behind the house, heal up, nothing can attack you, or you can run behind the fence of the starting area and not take any damage from there. Also, can we talk about this little guy over in the corner who's flipping out by the fence? What is he doing? Okay, wow, so I defeat the cauldron and almost die in the fire. Don't do what I do. Don't run through the fire. Just wait for the fire to go out. It takes like 2 seconds. Why couldn't I have just waited? Whatever. In Redstone Mines, you encounter the next boss, the Redstone Golem. Not to be confused with the Redstone Monstrosity, who we will get to very soon. Save your arrows for this guy because the easiest way to take him out will once again be from a distance. I found that a strong bow like the red snake is best when combined with damaging artifacts like the fireworks arrow for this boss fight. Do your best to avoid the lava, avoid his exploding traps, and avoid his melee attacks all at once. I know that's kind of difficult, but just when he stops to put his arms to the ground, shoot him from a distance. You have this time to charge up your arrows, charge up your attacks, use your artifacts, and when you do all of this, he should be no problem to take out. He is much weaker than his Redstone Monstrosity counterpart. Definitely just prepare for the fight ahead. The next boss is the Redstone Monstrosity, located at the end of Fiery Forge. Once again, I know this is boring, but attack from a distance. It's the best strategy, what can I say? It's really hard to get close to this guy because he has very strong melee attacks, he has very strong ranged attacks, and he summons in friends to help him. So, in this attack, you're going to have to stay away from him, stay away from his friends, avoid the lava, and if you do activate those pillars around the map, please do not stand in the way of them. I have died way too many times to those pillars. Seriously, I barely even use them. They are not worth it. I just end up killing myself. He is pretty slow moving, but don't think that that means this boss fight will be easy. This boss fight is extremely difficult and honestly one of my least favorites because those cubes he summons in and that attack that he does when he throws up those lava cubes, it's the worst. You get knocked into lava or you get surrounded by those cubes. And I even die during this boss fight. It's very upsetting. Even with double radiance, these cubes make quick work of me and I get a game over and have to start completely over. I was very upset, but it's okay. I'm making this video so that you don't have to get a game over. Do your best to avoid the cubes, and leaving only one up is much easier than dealing with all 500 of them that he summons in. Although they are pretty useful to keep around if you have Radiance equipped to your weapon. The choice is up to you, but I pretty easily get overwhelmed when there's multiple of those cubes. So just do your best to run, get a few shots in, wait for your artifacts to recharge, wait for your health potion to recharge, and you should be good to go. Okay, so I finally beat the boss after what feels like 1 million years, and I almost died to his little cubes. Imagine how terrible that would feel if you finish the boss fight and then die to the cubes. Wow. The Nameless One is found at the end of the Desert Temple, and although he isn't the easiest boss for sure, there is a way to avoid a majority of his attacks. By equipping totems of shielding along with a powerful bow, you can easily hide behind the pillars or inside the safety of your shield while you attack him from a distance. Honestly, the Nameless One is probably one of my favorite bosses. I really don't think he's hard at all. I've nicknamed him Jerry. Me and Jerry get along just fine. He's the boss I go to if I need to just quickly defeat a boss for some loot. You can really easily just stay inside this shield and shoot him, and his green orbs can't get you, but you can still shoot him. Seriously, this mechanic is broken, but it's amazing. I'm not complaining. And I also use my dog to my advantage during this boss fight. I summon in my dog, which distracts the skeleton vanguards that he summons in, and allows you to just get clean shots at the boss over and over again while your dog does all the dirty work. I wish this worked for every boss fight and you could just have somebody else do all the work for you, but unfortunately I'm playing single player, so I have to do all the work myself. But it's okay, like I said. Jerry is honestly one of the easiest bosses in my opinion. I know that is an unpopular opinion, but just hear me out. You can really easily avoid all of his attacks. If you have 2 totems of shielding, seriously, this boss fight becomes easy mode. And finally, we have the Arch-Illager at the Obsidian Pinnacle. All I'm gonna say about this boss is he's the worst. Move an inch to your left, dead. Move an inch to your right, dead. Think about moving, dead. Breathe air, dead. Seriously the worst. But anyways, once again, my advice is to just forget about melee. Seriously, forget you have it. Just unequip your weapons entirely. Put on 2 totems of shielding with a special arrow for this first phase because you are going to be launching your attacks from a distance. He does constantly teleport and summon in a ton of friends, but it's okay. The only friend you need is yourself. It's totally fine. Stand inside your totem of shielding and maybe you'll get lucky like I did where his friends are stuck behind him and you could just make clean shots over and over again until you get to the second phase. Now if this second phase doesn't want to make you uninstall your game, you are lying to yourself. Let's be real, this is the hardest boss in the entire game. His lasers kill you almost instantly and this fire is cheap. It's cheap. He's a cheater. But what I found is that when he spits his fire, if you just quickly dodge and then put down your totem of shielding, you can avoid his lasers, fire off clean shots, and this boss becomes easy. I'm not saying it's the easiest, it definitely takes some time to get used to, but I did it in only 2 tries. And part of my little circles, I was very excited. This was only my 2nd time beating him, and now I can do it really consistently, now that I know to just avoid his fire and put down those totems of shielding. Last but not least, the Redstone Monstrosity found in the secret level. Now, I'm going to classify this boss as truly the hardest because it takes a lot of legwork just to even get to. But rather than explaining how to get all 10 runes now, we do have a video for that already on our channel, so go ahead and watch that if you haven't figured out how to get to this boss yet. So just stand back, launch your attacks, sit down, grab some popcorn. This is going to take a while because the Redstone Monstrosity has it all. He has friends, he has ranged attacks, he has melee attacks, he's ugly, he smells, whatever. I think that the developers missed a huge opportunity to call him the Moonstrosity. Whatever, I'll leave, okay? That was a lame joke. At this point in the game, you should have at least 1 love medallion. Definitely equip that along with your totems of shielding because it will come in super handy when he summons in his mushrooms, so you can turn them into your friends and they attack for you. See, suddenly you're not playing solo anymore. It's totally fine. And every time he summons in more of those mushrooms, you can just make them your friends right away instead of having to deal with them while you're also dealing with his flaming mushrooms of fury and his ground pounds and everything else that he throws your way. Oh, I'm gonna cry. He's the worst. I've probably only fought him 2 or 3 times, and I play this game all the time. Seriously, it's all I do. I never sleep. Please send help. Whew. Finally, I'm sweating over here. Seriously though, some of those bosses are no joke. Let me know down in the comment section below which boss you thought was the most difficult to defeat, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!